Hello class, today we are going to talk about trigonometry. We're not going to get into like the real nitty-gritty stuff of it. We're just going to be basic introduction to trigonometry. So real basic stuff, nothing real difficult. All right. Trigonometry, all this is the study of right triangles, basically, specifically. Sides and angles of a right triangle. So real quick, just a little bit of terminology. In trigonometry, when you have a triangle, they're going to label the sides and angles like this. So the angles, just like always before, are labeled with capital letters, right? A, B, C, right? But the sides are labeled differently. The way they're labeling the sides, side C is opposite angle C. Notice it has a lowercase letter. Opposite angle A, we have side A with a lowercase letter. Opposite angle B, we have side B, lowercase letter. All right. And this is going to be the standard nomenclature for trigonometry. So anytime it says side A, that's the side that is opposite angle A. If they say side X, it's opposite angle X. All right. So the sides are always lowercase letters. The angles are always uppercase letters, and the sides are opposite the angle that has the matching letter. All right. Another thing you can hear a lot about in trigonometry are the words opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Okay, now, hypotenuse, obviously, that is talking about the side opposite the right angle. This right here, this is the hypotenuse. Opposite and adjacent, those are going to depend on which angle you're talking about, because a lot of this has to do with angles. So, for example, side A is opposite angle A. So if I'm looking at angle A right here, that's the angle, then this is opposite. Okay, and then this right here is adjacent. Remember, adjacent means right next to, just like adjacent angles are right next to each other. So side B is adjacent to angle A. Side A is opposite angle A. That being said, what if I'm looking at angle B? Well, if I'm looking at angle B, A is no longer opposite angle B, is it? A is right there next to angle B. So now side A is adjacent to angle B, and opposite to angle B is side B. All right. So opposite and adjacent, that is going to depend on which angle are you looking at. Hypotenuse is always the hypotenuse, always across from the right angle. Now, also, because of this, we're never going to be looking at opposite or adjacent to angle C, to this right angle, okay? Because this is always talking about opposite leg or adjacent leg, never the hypotenuse on those two, all right? Why does this matter? The reason this matters is because trigonometry, all of it comes down to three ratios, referred to as the trigonometric ratios. All right? And there are three of these. Well, three basic ones. There's some other ones, but they're all based on these three trigonometric ratios. Those ratios are sine, cosine, and tangent. Tangent, there we go. And what these ratios are, these are the ratios of the sides. Sine is the ratio of opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is the ratio of adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is the ratio of the opposite side over the adjacent side, adjacent leg. All right. So what are we going to do with this? Let's say I have some sides. We'll say this is 5, this is 4, this is 3, whatever. I want to find the sine of angle A. So it'll be written sine A. Okay. Well, let's see real quickly. Let's remind ourselves of what these ratios are. So I'm just going to put it up here. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. and tangent is opposite over adjacent. And this gives us SOHCAHTOA. You're going to hear this used a lot. SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA. The sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. This is SOHCAHTOA. This is just a thing to help you remember. Another way, I'm going to rewrite this. So this is SOHCAHTOA. All right, just to help you remember what all of the ratios are. So sine of angle A. So I'm looking at angle A is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite angle A is 4. The hypotenuse is 5. There it is. That's the sine of angle A. The cosine of angle A, well, that's adjacent over hypotenuse. That's adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent to angle A is 3. So 3 over the hypotenuse, which is still 5. And then the tangent of angle A, I have no idea why this one is being in lowercase and the other one uppercase, but that's just the way it ended up, whatever. Okay, tangent of angle A is opposite, which is 4, over adjacent leg, which is 3. And that's all there is to it. That being said, let's take a look at angle B. All right, the sine of angle B, sine, which is abbreviated, all of these are abbreviated with just the first 3 letters. All right, so the sine of angle B, it is sine, it is not sin to do math, it is sine. Okay, well, sine is still opposite over adjacent, but notice B, opposite to B is not 4. Opposite to B is 3. The hypotenuse, well, the hypotenuse is still 5. That's still the hypotenuse, that doesn't change. The cosine, so cosine of angle B is equal to, see, it says the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So adjacent to B is 4. That's the one right next to it. And the hypotenuse is still 5. All right. And last, we're going to do the tangent of angle B. Tangent, it says, is opposite over adjacent. So opposite is 3. And the adjacent, the leg right next to it, is 4. All right. And so these are the 6 trig ratios for the triangle. All right. The sine, cosine, and tangent for angle A, sine, cosine, and tangent for angle B. Notice you will always do the sine, cosine, tangent, these ratios of an angle, every single time. All right. So also notice the cosine for B is the same as the sine for A. The cosine for A is the same as the sine for angle B. And notice your tangents. Your tangents are just reciprocals of each other, right? 3/4, 4/3. Okay. So let's do another one. Let's just get some random numbers on here because I don't know. Let's go with 17 and 6 and 12. I don't know. This probably doesn't work. Probably not really the right triangle, but you'll get the idea. Okay, now real quick before I get into this, I do want to put my mnemonic back up there just to help us remember what we got here. So this is SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. All right, so I want to find sine, cosine, and tangent for angle A, then sine, cosine, and tangent for angle B. All right, so sine of angle A is equal to, again, it's opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite to A is 6. That is opposite. So 6 over my hypotenuse, which is 17. Cosine for angle A is as adjacent over hypotenuse. So right there next to angle A is 12. So 12 over hypotenuse, which is still 17. Tangent of angle A is opposite over adjacent. So opposite is 6, adjacent is 12. Now, notice this fraction can simplify. Always simplify your fractions. And so that would be 1/2. All right. Okay, so that's easy enough. Let's go ahead and do this for angle B. So now I'm no longer looking at angle A, I'm looking for angle B. So sine of angle B. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so I'm going to go opposite here, so I'm over there. So that's my opposite now. So that'd be 12 over my hypotenuse, which is 17. Cosine for angle B. Cosine, it says, is adjacent over hypotenuse, so my adjacent is right there next to it, my adjacent leg. So 6 over the hypotenuse, which is still 17, across from the right angle. And then tangent of angle B is opposite over adjacent, so opposite would be 12, adjacent is 6. Again, I can simplify this, and 12 over 6 is 2. And that's it. That's really all there is to it, okay? This is going to be used for other things later on. We can use this to find other stuff, but we'll talk about that in another video. For right now, I just want you to see how to get the ratios sine, cosine, and tangent of a right angle. Hope you found that useful, and I will see you in the next video.